I am your host, Danielle Mims. Welcome to Think Like a Kid, the podcast that helps parents and teachers stop guessing and start teaching the way kids actually learn. After working with hundreds of kids, I can promise you this: one-size-fits-all learning doesn't work. It's time to stop making kids fit the system and start shaping learning around the child. Each week, you'll get quick wins, creative ideas, and brain-based strategies to make learning hands-on and fun again. So whether you're in the classroom, the car, or halfway through your coffee, I am so glad you're here. Let's think like a kid.
Hello, friend. I am not gonna lie. I just recorded this entire episode and it didn't go through. So I'm like, how am I gonna just sit and talk about this all over again? But you know what? I am so passionate about it, and I had my first run through, and I told myself I was like, I'm not gonna redo episodes, and I'm not gonna script, and yada yada yada. But I got my practice run, so I'm ready to go. So, this whole episode is about STEAM education, which, if you know, you know. And if you don't, STEAM Made Simple is my online business where I help parents and teachers teach these foundational skills to kids at the earliest of ages so that they can thrive and reach their full potential. STEAM, maybe you've heard of STEM, is an acronym. So S stands for science, T is technology, E is engineering, and M is mathematics. They added the A, and that is for arts, which is the creativity, which I think is the missing piece of it all. And that is what we are talking about today. Because if you are parenting in the same way that you and me were raised, your child's growing up for a world that no longer exists. So STEAM is about raising little engineers and raising kids who are resilient and are problem solvers and who are creative and innovators. It's not about pushing academics early. It's not about pressure. It's about honing in on the 21st century skills that kids need in order to be successful. And if you think about the way that kids are being raised right now, what's the first thing that comes to mind is technology, AI, a really, really busy world. And my husband and I were actually driving and we were just like, what? Like, what kind of world will our kids grow up in? Like, what will they be? AI is taking over everything. And when you hone in on STEAM, it doesn't really matter because you're teaching skills that they need for legitimately jobs that don't exist yet. So if you can do that, your child will be fine. And I don't mean fine by your child's average. No, episode 1, I told you I am a product of an average child, right? And we want our kids to be leaders. And I want that for your child. I want your child to feel every gift that they were born with and every skill nurtured so that they can reach their fullest potential. So when I'm talking about these STEAM skills, I'm talking about problem solving, I'm talking about flexible mindset and cooperation and collaboration and emotional regulation and persistence and learning how to learn. That's what STEAM is. You're literally teaching a child how to think. That that's our goal. It's not reading a bunch of, I don't know if this was you, but it was me. We had our school had us put cold facts on our fridge at home. And maybe this is why I hate timed stuff, but we would be timed and we'd have to read all the facts and I would just memorize them. No, I didn't understand math. That's math and number sense. I will definitely do an episode on. I could talk about that a lot. Anyways, back to STEAM. So these skills are built before age 6. Okay. And so people might think oh, I only have a baby, I only have a toddler. Great. This is awesome. This is exactly when you need to start. This is exactly where their brains are legit sponges, where you can help wire their brain to have this confidence and the problem solving. And when they fail at something, to bounce back, to be resilient. This is when it starts, is in toddlerhood, babyhood, right? We're not waiting for our kids to turn 8 and to struggle in school and to hate science and to fail at math and already have this like negative association with subjects in school. No, 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 we're not doing that. Not here. So most of us, like you and me, we were raised in school to sit still. Awesome, you're doing great. Follow directions, perfect. Get the right answer. Amazing. Don't make mistakes. Okay? And a lot of us are struggling because of that. I don't remember ever having a teacher encouraging mistakes. When my son started kindergarten, his teacher was very proactive and asked parents what their goal for their child was. And I straight up said, I was like, I want him to feel comfortable making mistakes. I want him to make mistakes. And he's really rigid. So I would love for him to break the rules. And she was like, wow, I love that. Thank you. Like, I don't, if he, you tell him to stand in line, he won't move, right? If he steps out of line, I'd love that. I don't want him to be a rule follower to that extent. I want him to question the rules, right? And I want him to feel safe enough to do so. So if we're still not thinking that our kids are going to be in a completely different universe, which they will, that is a mistake. So our kids are growing up with automation, AI, jobs that don't exist yet, like we said, constant and rapid change, like rapid change where we like can't even predict what the world's going to look like. All we can do, what's in our control, is we can give our kids all of the skills and experiences that they need so that they feel confident within themselves. And that is STEAM. And trying something simple at home is just switching up your questioning. Like something that's so, so simple is instead of saying, oh, can you build a tower? It's like, well, they could say no. So why not say, how? How can you build a tower? That's not a yes no question. That's just a simple shift. Another question I love is, what did you notice? Instead of just like, oh, good job. Yeah, you did it. Good, good. What did you notice? Let them talk. Or what would you change next time? Or what did you try when it didn't work? And praising the crap out of them bouncing back from failures. I love that you kept going even though things were tough. I love that you didn't give up. I love that you turned that mistake into something beautiful. Imagine if you would have given up. You would not have this whatever creation they created, okay? Those kinds of questions build future ready brains, even in toddlerhood. So I want you to try, this is your little takeaway for today. I want you to try a very simple STEAM challenge. And I don't want you to get freaked out by the word STEAM. It's not as crazy as it sounds. I was so intimidated, honestly, by it when I had to do it when I was teaching, because I was like, oh, I need the NGSS standards, and then I need to make sure that it's tied into our reading standards, and that, I had to do all this stuff. And it's not. It's so, especially early childhood, it is so basic and simple, and it is the most powerful thing that you can do. So a STEAM challenge to do with your 2-year-old, your 3-year-old, your 4-year-old, honestly, any age. Give your child blocks, give them tape, give them paper, give them recyclables. All I want you to say is, let's see what you can make. And if they don't do anything right away, that's fine. Just wait it out. If they say, let's build a robot, mommy or daddy, like, nope, that's not your job. You're not going to build a robot for them. You're not going to help them. You're not going to tape what they want you to tape. There's no model for this activity. There's no right answer, and there's no fixing it for them. This alone will build creativity, obviously. It will build their frustration tolerance, especially if your kid's been reliant on you for doing things for them and helping them through every time that they struggle. And it's going to build their confidence, and it's doing it all at one time. And it's a baby step towards the next time that they do this, right? It's not a one and be done forever. STEAM is teaching kids how to drive, not memorizing a map. Because guess what? The map's going to change. The roads are going to change. The destination's going to change. But if you give your kid the tools, how to drive and how to navigate and how to have a sense of direction, they're going to be okay, right? So starting STEAM early is not about pressure or starting early academics. It's essential, right? If you want your kid to be the leader, I mean, every future is gonna need followers, and kids who don't have those skills, right, and who grow up into adults who need to follow a leader, but your kid is different, right? Your kid needs these skills to be nurtured so that they can tackle whatever challenges that come their way, because we know there's gonna be challenges, and we have anxiety enough about being a parent in general or a teacher or how the world's gonna look. But what you can do right now is build their confidence, and that's by starting with STEAM at home. So keep thinking like a kid, and we are preparing kids for a world that doesn't even exist yet. And it's a lot easier than what you think. Try one little STEAM activity at home. Please let me know how it goes. I love when you guys send me DMs or emails and let me know that it was successful or what your child created. I love hearing from you. So thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Think Like a Kid. If this episode gave you an idea, a reframe, or a little win, the best way to say thank you is to share it with a friend or leave a quick review. It helps more parents and teachers find these conversations, and honestly, it means the world to me. Until next time, friend, keep meeting kids where they're at and keep thinking like a kid.